House MD. To properly review it, I'd have to be a doctor. I'm not.
Oh, thank God.
To properly review it, I'd have to be somebody towards the same or similar levels as House, and I really aren't that.
Smugness is easier to maintain.
What I am is someone that has got a pretty good idea of what it would take to live the life that Sherlock Holmes would have lived.
You're stupid.
Curse of intelligence. In one of the episodes, we find a delivery guy purposefully poisoning himself to make himself stupider.
Well, I'm rubber, and you're glue.
In order to connect with his wife at that particular time, because when he's clear, his brain is on. When it's turned all the way up, everything gets so loud. And there's a lot of corollaries towards the world of observation and people watching, people reading, deductive reasoning, abductive reasoning, inductive reasoning, memory, situational awareness. All of this stuff can meld together to make each and every situation that you look at loud. When the inanimate objects are capable of communicating information, when any one single interaction has any number of physiological tells, anatomical tells, psychological tells, numbering between 5, 10, 20 per each section, and that goes differently between seconds as multiple people walk by within differing scenarios, and everything that happens in this moment, what do you do to turn it off, turn it down in order to focus? What is the curse of intelligence?
It's lonely, isn't it?
It's not that bad.
I don't think that intelligence can be accurately measured in this way, the way that House, as the TV show, not specifically the character. So for us, what we have to take in as part of our roles within our observational work is as much information as we possibly can.
And a happy go to hell.
And that's the same that can be said of a medical professional. You need as much information as you possibly can in order to achieve the proper diagnosis, and the accurate ones that lead to the longevity of people in the healthiest and safest way possible. How else can they do that if we aren't consistently learning? So what is it like when you get to the top? Who knows? Who knows? If you ever catch anyone self-referencing themselves as, I am the best at this, therefore listen to me, they're blinded by their own ego. And you'll notice that's something that House never does.
I thought I'd get your theories, mock them, then embrace my own.
He is belligerent, confident, arrogant, but that's only in the information that he has in his head. He will pursue a chain of reasoning, and then if he's wrong, he'll pursue the adjacent one, and then the adjacent one, and then the adjacent one. This isn't a discussion about professional conduct within hospitals, because if it was, that guy would have been fired day one. Doesn't matter how smart you are. Now, to be aware of everything ultimately means informed decisions, to use an analogy. But have you ever stopped to think about what it actually means if you can't forget anything, if you have all of the information there at a second's notice? You didn't say that last time you said this. Boom, dissension, arguments. Your memory, your intelligence is perceived as some behavioral altercation at that particular stage, when it is just your intelligence, your memory working overtime for you, providing you with the information that you need that is pertinent to the scenario. So there's an interesting discussion that House and the patient at the time have, when the patient recognizes that House is also a genius.
And you're not that smart.
Just because you're smart doesn't mean you're lonely. Yes, they are difficult, right? They have to be, because their information and their inability rather to quiet down the sensory overload. People who are fascinated with this, largely through media influence, whether it be House, Sherlock, Monk, Mentalist, Lie to Me, Psych, it features a lone genius. We can learn to filter these through. When you look at the work of Philip Tetlock within super forecasting, these are people who are asked months in advance to predict shifts in the stock market or what will happen within war zones. That's a lot of information to take stock of. Do they consider themselves geniuses? No. This is a worked skill, and yet the degree of information that they are forcibly having to keep themselves continually aware of remains similar. So when it comes to the curse of intelligence, that is a personable outlook.
Darwin says let him die.
It is down to your locusts of control. External, I could apologize for being late on my drive into work because I got stuck at every red light on the way. Or I could be internally focused with my locusts of control. And I'm sorry I'm late. I got up late. The red lights didn't help, but it's on me. That's the difference between the two, and this is the same with the curse of intelligence.
Can I get bonus points if I act like I care?
Just because you are aware of information that others aren't, or you make yourself aware of information that others aren't or can't be, doesn't give you access to a life that sensationalizes loneliness. In Mark Manson's book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, he speaks of fault and responsibility. It might not be your fault that you're a genius, but it will be your responsibility how you manage it, right? And with these affiliated pieces of media, there has been a almost beautification of the lone genius. Oh, he's so troubled and angst-ridden. God, he's so great. I think I can change him. Ultimately finding out that you can't. Where our fascination lies with these characters for those people who like to read books and practice skills and learn about this, you have to understand where the differences are. We are humans. We don't function in the same way that characters do or can, or computers do or can. We don't function like equations where you put a bunch of information in one side and you're guaranteed an outcome by virtue of the equations. People don't work like that. So there are those that are that uber smart that they do live a cursed life by virtue of that intelligence, because there are some angles that they just can't let go of. And there are others of similar or the same amount of smarts and awareness that lead perfectly normal lives in incredible positions of power, but normal in terms of their interactions and their capabilities. So when we're looking at the review of House MD, what can we take away from this? If you are a genius, you can look at the notion of fault and responsibility. It might not be your fault, but it's your responsibility how you manage it. How are you measuring that through your locusts of control? Are they internally focused or externally focused? And I've quoted this man until I'm blue in the face, Aristotle. Obviously, there's no way for us at this stage to know what he actually said on his deathbed, but it has been reputed that he said, "All I know is that I know nothing." To admit that kind of vulnerability, and that's the only way you improve. It's the only way you can continually keep searching. It's the battle between Edison and Tesla. So there you go, folks. I hope you've got something out of this little look into House MD and the Curse of Intelligence. You can find it linked down below if you want to watch the clip in full, but alternatively you should just take the proper route and watch the series from pilot to season 8 right the way through in order to just really get the full scope of who, what, why, where, when, and how House is. And with that in mind, I will see you very soon for a podcast episode. Until then, let me know down in the comments below if you'd like to see any more videos on any particular breakdowns from film, TV, and media, or if there are any topics you're looking to learn more about that I can help with. By all means, drop your comments down below. Obviously, if I can't help you with them, then I won't make a video on them. But until that time, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. Take care, and I'll see you soon.